In September 1940, Italian dictator Benito Mussolini launched an ill-fated invasion of Egypt from Libya, confident that his forces could establish Italian dominance in North Africa without German assistance. Marshal Rodolfo Graziani commanded a massive 236,000-strong Italian army that crossed into Egypt on September 13, 1940. However, the Italian offensive quickly stalled due to poor logistics, inadequate equipment, and low morale among troops who questioned the purpose of their campaign. The situation turned catastrophic when British Commonwealth forces launched Operation Compass in December 1940. Lieutenant General Richard O'Connor's Western Desert Force, numbering only 36,000 men, attacked Italian positions and achieved stunning success. By February 9, 1941, Allied forces had advanced 800 kilometers and captured 130,000 Italian and colonial personnel, including 22 generals, along with 400 tanks and 1,290 artillery pieces. The Italian 10th Army was effectively destroyed, with total casualties reaching 20,000 killed or wounded and 130,000 captured in just 3 months. Hitler watched Italy's humiliation with growing alarm. By late December 1940, he became convinced that Italy's collapse had to be prevented, as it was vital for the outcome of the war. He feared losing control of the eastern Mediterranean and seeing his Axis allies severely weakened, especially as he had already planned campaigns against Greece and the Soviet Union. On January 11, 1941, Hitler issued Directive 22, ordering a German blocking force to be sent to Tripoli to support Italian defenses and stabilize the North African front. The Afrika Korps was formally established on January 11, 1941, and Hitler personally selected Erwin Rommel as its commander on February 11, 1941. Rommel arrived in Tripoli on February 12, 1941, bringing with him the newly formed 5th Light Division, with the 15th Panzer Division following in late April and May 1941. Hitler's original intent was purely defensive, to prevent further Allied advances and secure Germany's southern flank before launching Operation Barbarossa against the Soviet Union. Rommel, however, had different ideas. He immediately grasped that desert warfare required revolutionary tactics. He understood that everything depended upon mobility, recognizing that non-motorized troops were practically worthless against a motorized enemy. Rommel perceived desert warfare as strangely similar to war at sea, where forces could move freely in any direction, and whoever possessed weapons with the greatest range held the decisive advantage. The tank became his primary instrument of war, capable of withstanding enemy fire while destroying unarmored vehicles. Despite orders to hold a defensive line, Rommel launched a limited offensive on March 24, 1941, with only the 5th Light Division and 2 Italian divisions. His audacity caught the British completely unprepared. Intelligence intercepts had informed General Wavell that German High Command had directed Rommel not to take offensive action until reinforced in May. By April 3, Benghazi fell, and by April 11, Axis forces had bypassed Tobruk and reached the Egyptian frontier. In just 3 weeks, Rommel reversed nearly all British territorial gains from Operation Compass, earning himself the nickname Desert Fox. The Afrika Korps fundamentally changed the character of the North African campaign. German forces brought superior combined arms tactics, coordinating armor and infantry effectively, while British forces initially fought almost separate battles. Winston Churchill himself acknowledged in Parliament in 1942 that Britain faced a very daring and skillful opponent, calling Rommel a great general. However, Hitler's intervention ultimately proved strategically counterproductive. The North African campaign diverted German resources from other theaters, particularly the Eastern Front.